right? I'm literally a whole nother state away. I'm 3 hours away from some people, 5 hours away from some people, a plane ride away from some people, because, being in the service, you meet people from all over.
And you're watching Tyra Talks. Don't forget to subscribe and follow my Instagram. Link in description.
Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about why I left the hood, or why I left North Philadelphia. So I've made a bunch of videos about having a BA in psychology, about being unemployed, but now your girl is employed. She works in human resources. I'm out here in Maryland, but oftentimes people ask me, what's it like living out here in Maryland, and why did I leave, what brings me out here to Maryland? And I figured I would go ahead and talk to you guys about it. So I grew up in North Philadelphia, the Will Smith song, in West Philadelphia, born and raised. Like, I'm North Philadelphia. So that's where I was born. That's really where I grew up. And growing up around there, I didn't spend much time outside. My dad was not someone who allowed me to really be outside, but I had a lot of friends who spent a good deal of time outside, and a lot of them were involved with just salacious activities, if you will. And up until 7th grade, I had always gone to schools in other neighborhoods. So sure, they were poor black schools, but they was poor black schools in different neighborhoods. So I couldn't exactly hang out with my friends from school because we didn't go to the same school that was in the same neighborhood. But eventually, I ended up going to a school in a neighborhood, and I met a bunch of kids there, and that's sort of how I found out that some people sell drugs, some people do drugs. And even going to high school, I went to Mastery Charter. That wasn't too far away from where I lived, so people that I went to school with also lived around where I live. And high school is that pivotal time to where you make good choices or bad choices. So definitely for me, my first instance of leaving the hood and getting out was definitely education. Like I said, didn't even hang out with people in the neighborhood really until 6th grade, 7th grade, because that's when I went to school in the neighborhood. But once I got to 10th grade in high school, I actually went to private school. And that really just took me away from the neighborhood, because nobody I knew went to the school that I went to. Everybody I went to school with lived somewhere in the suburbs or just somewhere super far away. So that definitely was my first sort of big step into getting away from the hood, leaving North Philadelphia. And from there, when I graduated in 2015, I was kicked out. Like, the day of my high school graduation, my dad kicked me out the house. So I needed somewhere to go, and I went to go stay with family members. Some family members lived up in Frankfurt, Kensington. Some family members lived all the way out in the Northeast. By the way, everybody that I lived with lived far away. They didn't live anywhere in North Philadelphia. And for me, if I got kicked out of my house, where am I going to stay that's going to keep me in North Philadelphia? I had a boyfriend at the time, but I wasn't living with him. He lived with his family and extended family and all that. So there was no way that I was going to be able to stay in North Philly. So I really just bounced around the city all the way up until it was time for me to go to college. And I went to college in Shippensburg, Pennsylvania. And that is just a bunch of horses and farmland and cows, and my university, of course, but there's not much out there, including black folks. So that was sort of my third big jump of just, leaving North Philly and not coming back. Like, I was gone for college. There's really no reason for me to come back unless it's a holiday. And those are really the only times that I came back, which was for the holiday. But even still, I wasn't really trying to go home because I loved college so much better. I got meals there. I got a warm bed. It's my bed. It's my room, my own key. It's my own thing. Like, I'm literally living my best life at college. I hated coming back. But after freshman year, I didn't have enough money to go back, so I had to join the service. And when I joined the military, I went away to training at Fort Jackson in South Carolina, and I was gone cumulatively for like 6 months or something like that. And so that, again, just sort of like the fourth huge jump of just me leaving and not coming back. It's sort of, as you can see, just life is just bringing me further and further away from the city. Like, every time there's an opportunity, it has nothing to do with me being or staying in North Philadelphia or Philadelphia at all. And once I got out of service, my mentor at the time, the person that I call mom and consider mom, she offered for me to go move in with her. And she lived way outside the city in the suburbs, like a smooth hour plus drive to and from where I grew up. And after living out there for a summer, I got my own place off campus at college, and I was gone. In Shippensburg, PA, my own apartment. I can definitely do some story times about what it's like living alone, but I was gone, definitely just out of here. After I had my own apartment, I realized I never want to live with anybody else ever again. Like, I just love coming and going and cleaning what I want and just doing what I want and just woo-signing. You know what I mean? Just being your own free agent. It just felt great. Once having the taste of living alone, it's like I'm definitely never living with, anyone ever again. And by anyone, I mean, like a parent or guardian or something like that. After living alone for 2 years, I met my boyfriend and we ended up moving in together. And now we live together. And we're out here in Maryland because once I graduated, I actually got a job out here in Bethesda, Maryland when I was working at that doctor's office I told you guys about. Since I've been gone from the city or, from college, I've definitely been really sad. Obviously, I made videos about it, being stressed or being sad or whatever. And it's largely because all of the people that I've met, I just told y'all all the different times that I've moved, all the different times that I've gone. Every time I go somewhere, I make new friends. I sort of start a new ecosystem, but then I move away. And sure, we can talk on the phone. Sure, we can do FaceTime. And sure, I can do road trips to your house. But it's not the same as going to college together and being able to walk down to the dorm. It's not the same as you live 10 minutes down the road and I just got to do a quick drive to you, right? I'm literally a whole nother state away. I'm 3 hours away from some people, 5 hours away from some people, a plane ride away from some people because, being in the service, you meet people from all over the country. So those are definitely some setbacks, but also living in Maryland is definitely a lot less rowdy than living in Philadelphia. And that's helpful because if you need to get an appointment or something, you're able to do it relatively quickly. But even when I was living in Shippensburg, PA, you can get things very quickly. I would say definitely, as far as appointments go, rural PA was a lot better. But hey, I also lived in rural Maryland, and that was also pretty good. I feel like anywhere where there's sort of more people, more of a city, is harder to get appointments. But something I like about Maryland is definitely there's a lot of highways. That's an enjoyment because you can get places a lot faster versus having to sit and wait at a lot of lights. But it also is a catch-22 because whenever it's rush hour, be it in the morning or in the evenings, you have to sit in traffic for like ever. I need to make a video about the traffic here. I think it's definitely a lot cleaner here in Maryland than it is in Philadelphia as well. Like you can often see people cleaning the streets, peeling stickers off, hardly if ever see any sort of graffiti. And overall, I just like it out here in Maryland. There's really nothing that has happened out here that makes me think I want to go back to Philadelphia. If anything, maybe go back to visit. And it's just crazy to say because I remember being a kid and hearing about people who grew up here or people's older siblings and hearing about, grew up here, I'm not in Philly, but that grew up in Philly and moved away. And I always wondered why when people sort of established themselves, why they didn't come back. But at least where I grew up, I think my house is bordered up. In the street, when I was growing up, I had a lot of abandoned houses. And if the house that I lived in is abandoned, it already had abandoned houses, I can just only assume that it's gotten worse. But in general, I feel like I don't have that many pleasant memories of being in Philadelphia. I think I enjoyed the excitement of being in a new place and experiencing new things for the first time. So far, it's like every few months, like every 2 months or so, I tend to go back to Philly and see some friends and hang out. And that's been working pretty well. I would definitely love to make some friends out here in Maryland, but it's definitely been hard with the whole vid going on and Amorion going on, especially because all the friends I made came through school or came through the service, and I'm not in school anymore, I'm not in the service anymore, so it's like, I don't even know how I would go about meeting somebody new outside of the club. But even still, in the club friends are club friends. I don't know. Y'all need some story times about my club friends. But in conclusion, I've always left the city or left North Philadelphia for better opportunity. And I think out here in Maryland, I'm doing really good. And I really enjoy it out here. I definitely think that if I was still in Philadelphia, things would be a lot different. And I'm not sure if things would be different for the better. I think being out here, things are a lot different out here in Maryland, but I think things are different for the better, definitely. But comment down below, where did you guys grow up? Do you still live there? Did you move away? Did you go away for college? Did you stay for college? Did you not go to college? I don't know. Let me know down below. And like this video and share this video with someone who you think might enjoy it. And until next time, make sure you click on any of these videos on the screen because they're all great too.